All right, hey everybody, how you doing? It's Richard Cooper here, founder and CEO of Total Debt Freedom, and I'm on with Bonnie and Mo. And they're graduated clients of the program. They've offered some time to have a quick chat and share their experience with how everything worked out for them. They're going to tell their before story, what was going on in their life before they engaged us, and what their experience was with the program. So I'll just be quiet now, and if you guys can tell me what was going on in your heads before you had contacted us looking for help. Like, what was your story? What was going wrong in your life leading up to that point before you engaged us?
I was sitting in my chair every night of the 7 nights a week watching TV. I couldn't afford to go out the door. That's how bad it was.
Right. So life was so bad that you couldn't go out to eat. You couldn't have any entertainment. Could you go see a movie at the theater?
No, we
Not
couldn't
even
afford.
Okay. So
and every day, go ahead.
So what had changed in your life to make that debt pile up? I think you said that you were business owners or entrepreneurs with a restaurant or something.
Yeah, Morris was a business owner, and with government taxes going up, and suppliers going up, and hydro going up, and gas going up, eventually it just got to the point where we had to scale back, and then we just had to sell because we just couldn't make ends meet anymore.
But in the beginning, it was my wife, who was alive at the time, bought the restaurant. I bought it with her, but it was her cup of tea, not mine.
Right.
Anyhow, we renovated it, and then we opened it up in 2001, and it was her cup of tea. She had only lasted a year, and she died of a brain aneurysm.
Okay.
And then it was put in my lap, and I didn't pay too much attention to it because I didn't like it.
Right.
And he got literally robbed.
They robbed me blind. So started from there, and I kept thinking maybe it'll get better, but things just got worse, progressively worse.
Who was it that robbed you, Mo? Was it something with an employee or a supplier or something?
Staff. It was staff. Yeah.
Yes.
So eventually I came into the picture. I think the year after his wife died.
Okay.
And said, "You need help."
Okay.
But by then it was too late, and he had and at the end of it all, by the time he was able to sell, he had used up all of his line of credit.
Everything.
His credit cards were maxed to pay wages.
Wow.
He sold his condo in Mexico. The money went into the restaurant, everything. And then when he sold the restaurant, he sold at a loss. So, of course, with no income from the restaurant for what it was, he was left to pay all of his debts on his old age pension.
Got it. So I'm an entrepreneur, like I get this as well. So as a business owner, you're not able to collect EI when that job ends for you. So
Exactly.
So what happened then? Like, what did you guys do? Like, you'd sold your condo, you got rid of your assets, you'd sold the restaurant at a loss, you really had nothing, you weren't able to collect EI. What did you guys do?
So I took on 2 jobs,
Okay.
which supplemented our living expenses to a point, and then everything that he made on his pension went to pay credit card bills and so on and so forth.
Got it.
And believe me, him sitting at home 7 days a week, I used to come home from work and it would just be absolutely terrible.
That'd be brutal, yeah.
It was.
And plus, my health is so bad. Like me, I can hardly breathe at times.
Right.
I work. If I could work, I would have went back to work, but I can't.
That's why you have me, Chickie.
That's a good lady there. Okay, so things aren't working out. You got a pile of debt, it's accumulated. Did you look at options like consolidating with your bank or refinancing a mortgage? Did you look at bankruptcy? Like, what did you consider?
Well, first of all, we can't get a mortgage because we live in a mobile home.
Got it.
They won't help you.
Okay.
And if you have no mortgage and you want to get a mortgage against your home, they won't give it to you because you live in a mobile home.
Okay.
Mind you, it's a nice one, but still. So he tried looking at monies for being disabled, don't qualify.
Right.
He looked at numerous things because he sits on the computer all day long.
Got it.
And then he found you guys.
Yes.
So sitting on the computer paid off then?
Yeah, poor James.
Actually, I found you under government grants.
Under government grants. Okay, cool.
I don't know how it got there, but anyway, and then I think I kind of hung up. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
But then I got a call back, and it was Bryce.
Okay.
He must have seen my name on the phone somewhere. So we got talking, and I'm glad I talked to him.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you found us online. You made the decision to do something. I'm sorry. Did you actually try for a consolidation loan with your bank without a mortgage? Was that something that worked? Did you look at bankruptcy? Like, I'm just wondering about those other options because some people look at those too.
I got once, and they turned me down.
Okay. All right. So you spoke to Bryce, and what was your experience there?
Very good.
Okay.
I told him my full story, and he just jumped right on it. He said, "You got no problem. We'll fix you up."
Okay.
And then I came home from work, and he said, "Guess who I just talked to?" And I said, "Pardon?"
Yeah.
He said, "Get that guy on the phone right now."
Okay.
I must have talked to Bryce for half an hour.
Okay. Good.
I just asked him a million questions.
Yeah.
And by the time I got off the phone, I said, yeah, this
Okay.
is good.
Okay. So you spoke to somebody here. You're comfortable with it. You made the decision. You obviously got into the program. What was your experience once you actually? Hang on a sec before you get into that. A lot of people have a lot of reluctance. We find in our experience, like they'll come to us, they'll ask us a question. They've got 40 grand in credit card debt at that time. We spend all this time talking to them. We answer their questions, and then they don't budge. They don't move. They don't take action. And then the weird thing is, like a couple years later, we get another inquiry from the same person online in our forum, and it's the same name and address and everything, but now it's got like $70,000 in credit card debt. So what's the difference between you guys that actually talked to us and said, let's do something, versus somebody that doesn't? If you can give me some insight on that, because a lot of people get stuck.
I quite frankly think that someone that uses, that calls a company like yourself
Yeah.
and some follow-up is just damn lazy.
Okay.
Just looking for an easy way out. If you're really in trouble, so, sorry.
Oh, I know. I'm so glad that I called. And once we got enrolled in it, I said, "Hey, time will go by. Time goes by fast." And look,
3 years.
3 years and 2 months, and we're out of debt.
Okay, so let's talk about the good stuff, because I want to get you smiling again, Bonnie. So you're in the program. You've made the move. I mean, this is obviously a emotional decision for a lot of people. Like even you, like I can tell that you're kind of going back on it, feeling those same thoughts before when you got into it. You get into it. You start dealing with us. What was your experience with us during those 3 years and 2 months? Like, how did it work out? Can you give us some insight there?
Absolutely wonderful. Like
something
would come up, and I think mostly with Bryce. Well, Carl too.
Yeah, Carl
and we
too.
had a personal number, his cell phone number, and it didn't matter what the situation was. He said, "Call if you need me. Call."
Got it.
And he would pick up that phone, and even if he was out for dinner with his wife, he'd say, "I'll call you right back."
Awesome.
And he would call. He would walk us through it, whatever was going on. Normally, it was creditors calling.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it was horrendous, which is expected.
Right.
Because they're PO'd.
Yeah.
And
but you knew that was coming anyway, though, right?
Oh yeah, but it was happening anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the sense of you were getting a letter past dues, or
I think in the first year, about 6 months later, I had agreed to the program, but I said I will keep my van.
Yeah.
And I gave a letter to the Bank of Nova Scotia stating, to take the money each month out of my account.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't do it. But I didn't know this. So all of a sudden, the sheriff comes to my door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I'm picking up your van.
Right.
I said, "What?" And he said, "Because you haven't made the payments." So I phoned the bank, and sure enough, the money was in the bank.
Yeah.
I didn't know they hadn't taken it out.
Right.
So anyway, he said, "I'm just doing my job. I got to take the van."
Okay.
Now here I am stuck in my trailer. Now I can't even go out the door because I can't walk.
I see where this is going.
Right.
So we called TDF and we said, "Look, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
I know how much money we have in the bank, which we had it all. That,
right.
Just in case, we need to take some of that money."
Okay.
You know what you guys said? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not locked in stone. Just when you can, get it back in there.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay. So then you fix that.
We fixed that.
Yeah.
And we got ourselves a little car and every time that we needed something, and then recently we had to get our roof done this spring.
Yeah.
And Dana, who we deal with now, said, and then when his sister was dying, we called TDF and said, "We have to use some money because we have to go to Toronto."
Right.
Okay. Like
Sure.
you guys aren't like jailers. It's a experience, but it is. when you owe somebody money, which we didn't really owe you money,
Yeah.
but you want to, we ourselves want to make sure that we follow up on our commitment. But it's a comfortable feeling to know that if an emergency comes up, we don't have to say, please, 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 can we?
Absolutely. So
You
yeah. So
like adults.
let me just touch on that for a second, because the way that it works, to be clear to everybody that's watching this, is Bonnie and Mo would have set aside money monthly to raise a lump sum to settle. So certain emergencies that might come up in life, you lose a loved one, you've got to travel, pay for the funeral, you've got to deal with some deficiency for a vehicle to bring up to date. We were flexible with them in those scenarios, so they could take that money and deal with those emergencies, and they'd bring it back into the settlement savings account to settle the debt. And I think you would have enrolled for 36 months, because it sounded like you did 3 years and 2 months or something?
Yes.
We would have been finished this November.
Okay, so it took a little extra time because of the unforeseen emergencies, but the cool thing about our program is it's flexible, because we can work with you and your budget and certain emergencies that come up. So I want to talk about the settlements now, because I want to be respectful of your time. We've been talking for about 11 minutes now, and I noticed in the file, I don't have it up in front of me, but I think it was about 40 or 45,000 roughly that you owed in total, and we settled it for how much?
7,500.
And it was 44,600 and some.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
Trust
was
me.
like, so that was like 2 debts that we had settled for way less than what you owed. Like, how did that feel for you guys when you took the money and made the payments to settle it?
First of all, go ahead and get up and get in your chair, old man. When I went to the bank, whenever Dana had called us and she was so excited, and then when I went to the bank and she gave me the $7,500 to take to the other bank, I said, oh man, I should have brought a camera. I'm going to put, I just, and then Dana sent me, I had the paperwork stamped at the other bank, which they were actually hesitant to take the money. And I said, no, you are going to take the money. Call this number, which was Dana.
Yeah.
And they came out and they took the money and stamped everything and
Yeah.
said, anything else we can do for you today? And I said, no, thank you. And then your company sent us a copy of the paid in an email. It's just, it still keeps, I realize that it's done, but every once in a while it kind of hits me. It's done.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when I get paid on Friday, when I get paid tomorrow, it's my money
Yeah.
in the bank to put in the bank, and we can start catching up again and maybe have some fun this summer.
So what's life like now? Like, are you guys able to go see a movie? Are things considerably better? Are they worse? Like, what does it look like?
It's not better yet because, of course, the transaction has just happened last week.
Okay.
But when Morris gets paid next week, all that money stays in the bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so by the time the end of next month comes, it's going to be wonderful. I think maybe after 4 years, we might be able to buy a barbecue.
All right.
A cheap one, mind you.
Yeah.
But I don't need anything fancy. But for the last, since we got with TDF, and even before that, we couldn't even have a barbecue
Yeah.
because we couldn't afford it.
So now you've got cash flow and now you're out of debt, so things are good, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's more the emotional.
Feelings.
It's the emotional.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
So question for you: Would you recommend this to somebody that was in the same situation where they're drowning in debt and they didn't know a way out? Like, would you recommend this program?
Most certainly. Oh,
I would.
To anybody. To
Yeah.
anybody.
But they have to be honest with themselves if they want to make the commitment.
I
Because if
totally
they
agree.
don't, if they
Yeah.
don't want to make the commitment, then don't waste anybody's time.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
Awesome people, and
Yeah.
it's not fair if somebody's going to jerk you around.
Yeah.
The only thing is, how do you recommend to people? Because you got to
Find out their debt.
find out their expenses, their troubles.
You just-
how do you find that out?
You just listen, Morris. You can tell by a person's. I work in the restaurant industry still,
Yeah.
and I meet people, different people, all the time.
Yeah.
And when I'm at work, I'm not ashamed to say, oh, guess what? We just finished with TDF. And I've been telling everybody, who's TDF?
Yeah.
It's the people that help you when you're in big trouble. Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's,
Well,
See, I don't see anybody hardly, so.
you don't, anybody but me and the girls.
well, I want to thank you very much for taking some time to talk, to me today and sharing your personal story about what life was like before and after. It sounds like you guys had a great experience. You're all debt free. You just did this. It was like a week ago, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you're all debt free. Everything's done. Congratulations. And again, thank you very much for taking some time to talk to me today, guys. I really appreciate it.
Nice
Oh,
meeting
it's
you, Richard.
awesome. Can I get a copy of the video?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save it and I'll upload it to the YouTube channel and I'll have it emailed to you if you want to see it too.
I really would.
Okay.
I love you guys.
Love you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you guys
Bye.
later. Bye-bye. Take care. Ciao.
Okay.